I recently heard someone say, create your product and then find your target market. Well, I think they're wrong. You're listening to the Street Cred podcast, the show focused on helping you turn your clothing brand into a community. I'm Elijah Delport. Look, before we get into this episode, I want to let you know of a couple of things. In the past, this podcast has been a daily podcast. Well, that is no longer. I'm now returning back to the weekly podcast model. And first of all, why am I doing that? I really enjoyed the daily podcast. It was something that kept me, public speaking is something I'm passionate about, something I want to get better at. And it helped me sharpen that skill. And this podcast continues to help me do that. However, there was a real psychological effect of the daily podcast I wasn't ready for. And without getting too much into it, because it probably won't interest you, very simply, it was monotonous. It was too... I'm a person of routine, so are all humans, really, to some extent. Some more than others. I love routine, and I thrive with it. The daily podcasting was too much. Because when I switch everything to daily Instagram, daily email, daily community, daily podcasting, I end up doing the same thing every single day and fall out of love with my work. I don't want to do that. And so this is a really nice thing to have once a week. And this brings me on to another thing. Someone left a comment on a podcast recently, and they said, video starts at 6 minutes. They just literally inserted the time code 6 minutes. I kind of looked at it and laughed, and I go, maybe there is some feedback, some valuable feedback I should take from this, that I need to get to the point quicker. And that's true. And then upon thinking about it, I came to the conclusion that the podcast is my one time that I don't have to get to the point so quickly. Like if I'm going to have any, if I'm on Instagram and TikTok and I write a newsletter and all these things, like whatever, they can all get to the point. At least let my podcast be where I can just sit down and relax for a minute. So yeah, that's the other thing. And the reason it's not just for no reason at all. I think it's because this podcast it's for my superfans. I often talk about finding your superfans for your clothing brand. Well, I'm trying to find my superfans for what I'm doing too. And so not everyone's going to love this, but some people, will like this experience of a podcast, in it being a longer form, it being more relaxed. I'm not getting to the point. In fact, I've got my tea right now beside me. I'm so insistent on the fact that I'm not going to be so quick to getting to my point on this show that I'm going to very comfortably drink my tea right now. And what are you going to do about it? I don't know. Still hot. Hey, you can't do that on Instagram. So look, yeah, I just want to relax. I have a plan for today. But I just wanted to get those couple of things out of the way, just to let you know. So weekly podcast is releasing Mondays at 7 a.m. And on that, I want to do in the future some episodes with more brand owners. In the past, I've held the guest episodes exclusively for those that are at a particular level in the fashion industry. However, I want to open it up a bit broader. So if you have a good idea, and very simply that, just a good idea for a clothing brand and a community you'd like to build around it, let's come have a chat about it. Send me an email, lige@elijahdelport.com. That's LIJ@elijahdelport.com. Very simple. Just say, let me know what you'd talk about on your episode, because I'd probably love to have you on. So that's all from that. But anyway, look, just to give some more context around the hook that I gave at the beginning of this video, I saw a video last week on Instagram, and it was someone sharing part of the story behind their clothing brand and how they started, and they were giving some advice on it, and they said, create your product, and they said it was very important that before you sell your product, that you know exactly who your target audience is. And he used this activity. He said, look at your product and think who would wear this. And to be honest, I don't even have a big problem with it, because like in essence, as a concept, it's a good concept. Understanding your target audience, I couldn't agree with that more. And in fact, even the activity of looking at your product and asking yourself, well, who would wear this? I think that's a fantastic activity as well. Where I think it goes wrong is the order of things. That you would make the product first, and then you would ask yourself who the target audience is second. And the reason that is a problem is for a couple of things. First of all, that you risk not building a brand, but just building a lot of products. Because think about it like this. You make one product, and then you ask yourself, who's this for? And you say it's for skaters. You know, you look at the garment, you think, I think a skater would wear this. And then you make another product, and then you look at that one, you think, all right, well, this design, I think, you know, maybe someone who's into sports might wear this. A brand should be consistent. And when I'm talking about brand, I'm not just talking about a company, I'm talking about what do people think of when they think of insert your name, right? That's what a brand is. It's your branding. It's your identity. So your identity needs to be something that's super clear and super consistent across the board, no matter what products you're releasing. And so that's why I always suggest start with the target audience, and even before then, start with the brand identity. Decide what target audience is identifying with that brand identity, that brand message, and then create the product from that as a byproduct of that. And so but the real thing I want to speak about is purpose, because I mean there's lots of ways you can go about identity. What I believe a big part of brand identity is purpose. And since the topic of this show is community, I should mention, I truly believe you cannot build a community around a product. You can, however, around an idea. And on an idea is a belief, a lifestyle, a culture. Right? This is the purpose behind your brand. It's a brand message. It's Patagonia's "We only have one world." Right? It's Nike's "Everyone's an athlete." Right? All of these are a purpose. They're a brand message. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today. So the thing is, with a product first mindset, the danger of it is that it leads to a slogan on the wall purpose. A product first mindset leads to a slogan on the wall purpose. What is a slogan on the wall purpose? It's essentially lip service. It's an afterthought, because it literally is. You literally think about it after you think about your product. Right, and so like there's so many examples, and we're going to get into it. But another thing that is related to this concept of purpose and product on the wall purpose, slogan on the wall purpose, is CRS, corporate social responsibility. And what corporate social responsibility is essentially when a company does a good thing, like giving to charity. That's corporate social responsibility. And sometimes it comes out of purpose. Sometimes it comes out of product. Like sometimes corporate social responsibility comes out of purpose first. Other times it comes out of product first. The times it comes out of product first is when you get a slogan on the wall purpose, that when they point to their slogan and they say, look at us, we're really good. We're a great company. Buy from us. And it's just used as marketing. Not to suggest you shouldn't use as marketing. However, there is a very subtle yet big difference between the order between some companies and others. So I want to give you an example of this, because it's kind of it's an abstract thought if you don't have really clear example to make it clear. And the example I want to give is of an Australian company called Cotton On. Sorry, Cotton On, if you're listening to this, I don't like you. Look, you've done some great things. You built a big company, and we can learn something from that. But look, I just want to read you something that they say on their website. They say, making a positive difference is at the heart of what we do. That's something that they actually say on their website. Making a positive difference is at the heart at what we do. But this is really ironic, because what precedes that statement, this is not the ironic part, but just to give context, what precedes that statement is a list of all of the environmental causes they give to, and their mission, and the ways that they are helping the environment through their product, and some of their aims for the future when they want to be carbon neutral, all these kind of things. And this is all relating back to making a positive difference is at the heart of what we do. That's their statement. But the reason I believe this statement is a slogan on the wall purpose, right? Look at us. We're doing a great thing by our clothing, is because of their business model. And their entire business model is focused and is anchored and built upon over consumerism. It's built upon fast fashion. Cotton On is a fast fashion brand. Their products are cheap. They change out the entire shop every 6 weeks. Like, there is not the same product in sight. And so it's a fast fashion brand. And so for them, even if all those things that they are doing are true, even if they do have goals to be carbon neutral, and if they're still contributing to extreme amounts of waste and to a culture of overconsumerism. And for that reason, that I feel is a good example of a slogan on the wall purpose. Making a positive difference is at the heart of what they do. And so this is why I say that it's actually not at the heart of what Cotton On do. It's an afterthought to win hearts. Just think about that for a second. That the purpose, the environmental purpose of Cotton On is not, despite what they say, is not at the heart of what they do, but rather it's just to win hearts. So I want to ask you a question, and this is a good test to see if your purpose is a slogan on the wall purpose or not. Is it actually at the heart of what you do, or are you using that purpose just to win hearts? And I'm very careful to use the word just or only to win hearts, because here's the truth. If you have a purpose and you believe in it and it is at the heart of what you do, naturally you will win hearts. So winning hearts is not a bad thing. It's just, is it only to win hearts? Or if you win no one's heart and just complete that purpose, have you succeeded? In which case, that is when purpose really does come first. And so coming back to the point of this episode and this podcast in general, talking about the danger of a product first mindset. Even if you truly believe in your purpose, having a product first mindset accidentally embeds a slogan on the wall purpose culture in your company. It's just the way it goes, and there's not a way around it unless you're able to forget about the product for a moment, start with your purpose. And by the way, if you've already, it's not like you're too far gone if you've already released a product. It just means you might have to go back and rewrite some things. Or you might have to go back to the drawing board and start at the top again. And everything that you've made already you might not even have to, it's not like you have to throw that out or something. Like, for example, in the company that I've built now, and I mean, I'm still building it, but I started in the beginning without a purpose. Like, this company started as a videography, production company. That's what this started out. In fact, it had an entirely different name, and you know, I haven't even spoken about this, but I'm in the process of renaming it entirely. I'm in kind of a limbo at the moment, but it had an entire different name, and it was a video production house for clothing brands, to do video campaigns for their clothing drops. That's what this company was before. And, you know, that was like 2020. It was that. And here's the thing, like, there was no purpose. There was no purpose behind what I was doing. I was just making videos, right? And so making videos over a long period of time, it gets to the point where even with the stuff you love, either it starts to feel uninspired, or you long for more, or you want a new way to approach business, a new way to approach what you're doing. And so there was something deep within me that had this growing realization of the companies that win are those that build communities. I love building communities. I love talking to people. I love making friends. It's something integral to me, community. And so when I realized this colliding of two things at once, like both the fashion industry needs this, it's going to make people a hell of a lot more money if they can build strong communities. And also I love it and I'm passionate about it, and I think it makes the world better. Man, you better believe I infuse that purpose. And also, like, I read some books. Man, Simon Sinek's Start With Why is fantastic about, like, it's start with why. Start with why you're here doing what you're doing. It's about purpose, right? Purpose, it goes why, how, what, right? Your purpose is your why, and that how you outwork your purpose is through the what, right? And so your what is your clothing product. Your how maybe is to make it really, really good. Your purpose, your why probably has nothing to do with product. Like building communities is my purpose. That in and of itself has nothing to do with clothing brands. But my point in all of this is that if you've already started and built a product and released this, it's not too late for you. You can still insert a purpose, but not into, but above and on top of, and as a foundation of everything you're doing. And so it becomes a filter through which you put everything you make from now and into the future. Every product, you go, how is this outworking the purpose? Every campaign and every message behind each and every clothing drop and campaign, you're thinking, how is this related to the message? Or even you're going, all right, I want to create a new campaign. What part of the message do I want to outwork or reveal this time, or the purpose? And so, look, there's a lot of brands out there that are unintentionally inauthentic. And I like to define authenticity as brands that are being and doing what they say, who they say they would be, and what they say what they would do. Right? That's a really wordy way to say how I actually define it, which is something along the lines of brands doing exactly as they say. It's basically brands that live up to their word. They're like a man of their word, or a brand of their word, right? They do exactly as they say they're going to do. And so that, as an example, is if you say in your bio that you're a mental health brand, then act like it. That's what being authentic to your brand is. If you start posting about clothing products and that's it, then you're not being authentic to your brand, and it could come across, the risk is that it could come across like that too. However, if you say you're a mental health brand and you start posting about mental health, and then on the side you kind of, hey, by the way, here's my product. Now you are being the most authentic version of your brand that you could be. And so a product first mindset leads clothing brands to accidentally becoming inauthentic or appearing that way. And how do we know this? Or what does it look like as a result? Well, very simply, they're struggling to get rid of stock, right? Because no one wants to be a part of a community that no one wants to be a part of, or that no one's in. It's, So anyway, I could go on forever about that. But look, just start today with a purpose-first mindset instead of a product-first mindset. And I think you'll avoid a lot of the struggles that many brand owners have. Plus, heck, you're going to have such a drive to get out of bed in the morning because you have a real, your purpose no longer is to sell more clothing. Your purpose is a higher cause, and selling more clothing is simply a manifestation of that purpose, or a way to get to where you want to go. You know what I mean? Like if you're a sport brand, for example, and you say, well, what does success look like for my brand and my purpose? We want to build a community of sports people. We want to own basketball courts all around the world that bring together local communities. Right? That might be part of your dream vision for your brand and your purpose into the future. That's what it looks like to successfully complete your purpose. And so the goal is no longer just to sell more garments, although that is a short-term objective. It's that selling more garments is just a step in order to fund that greater mission. So that's another part of it. So look, develop a purpose first mindset and a product second mindset. And I promise you, you will sell more products than ever. And this has been the case with any company or any brand that has ever developed this mindset successfully. So find your people that resonate with your purpose too. Oh man, isn't it good to be back? I just, this feels so fresh to me because, I was in a flow before, sure. And the podcast, they had some value in it. But man, I feel like it's flowing on a different level now because I'm relaxed. I don't know if you can tell this, but I'm relaxed. And so, yeah, thanks for bearing with me. I'm on a journey of my own at the moment and in discovering my purpose and how to help people build communities of their own, and I'm building my own community in the process. And so, yeah, thanks for sticking it out with me in the journey, even in some of the more sticky parts, or not sticky bits, but like it's not smooth. Like where I am today is not where I'm going to be in 12 months time, nor in 18 months time, nor in 5 or 10 years time. And so I'm passionate about the journey at the moment. I'm really happy with where I'm at, and not just because it's successful, but just because I'm enjoying the way along. So I don't know. This is no advice behind this. I'm just sharing with you on a personal note that I'm enjoying the journey at the moment, and it's really something exciting for me. And to have this podcast as a space, heck, if no one watches or tunes into this anymore, because it's not those nice 10-minute daily episodes, then whatever. Heck, I enjoy them. I enjoy making them. I enjoy talking about them. And from this podcast, sometimes I say things on here that I've never said before, and it gives me ideas that I've never had before too. So, no, that's all from me. Look, if this was valuable, I'm building a community at the moment of brand owners that I invite you to come and join and call your own. It's totally free. There's a link in the description. There is absolutely no catch to it whatsoever. At the moment, there is 59 motivated brand owners that are in the community space. They're engaged. We have an 80% weekly engagement rate. That means 80% of all members are engaged on a weekly basis, which is absolutely nuts for a community of my size, and I'm extremely proud of that. It's taken a lot of work to get to this point, but it just shows that this stuff works, right? If you know the right way to build a community, you build a community. I don't know there's a better way to say that, but you know what I'm saying. If you build a community, you build a community. Yeah, I think this podcast is dragging on a bit. Maybe I'm getting a bit too relaxed now. But yeah, no. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching wherever you're listening or tuning into this. There'll be a link in the description to join that community for free. I have a streetwear marketing course on there. And I'm also, this month, in the month of September, I'm also releasing a new 5-part series on how to build a community. It's a guide specifically for clothing brands. And so it's just for you. It'll be releasing on the community first. So if you want some of that, then head over there and get it. So thanks very much for watching. And if this is valuable, subscribe wherever you're tuning in from, because I'm doing these podcasts once a week. Send me an email if you'd like to be on the show. Thanks very much. I'm Elijah Delport, and I'll see you for another podcast.